You are warmly invited to my latest How to Become Money workshop, and we're doing it different this time. We're not going to do it in 10 calls. We're going to do it in an afternoon, or if you're in Europe or Australia, different time, evening, early morning, because I experienced the most change with the How to Become Money workbook when I did it in one sitting with a group of people for 8 weeks straight. So we're starting again. And I put together a little presentation for you here about what I believe the impact of this workbook is, why I think it's the go-to and best money tool out on the market today when money's not working in my world. I am all over the map. Basically, I have these three issues. I've got unruly thoughts, unruly emotions, and my energy's all over the map, which equals no or inconsistent money. I have paid really close attention to this right here. And every single time money stops working in my world, I'm doing unruly thoughts, unruly emotions, and my energy's all over the map. So we have the problem, right? We see what's happening. Look in your own world when money stops working. Where's your head at? What's happening with your feelings? Are you being money, or are you being everything else? Stress, worry, anxiety, all the other emotions, which is essentially our addiction to unconsciousness showing up. It takes some work to form yourself into a persistent, conscious element in the world. It takes a minute. It takes energy. It takes presence. So let me tell you, with visuals added, why does studying the workbook change those things? How many of you guys have bought the How to Become Money workbook and let it sit around or even read through it one time? There's a reason that Gary Douglas says you need to go through that workbook 100 times. Because the workbook itself is a transcript of a class that was channeled way back in the day. It really, from my point of view, formed the basis of what I would say access consciousness is today. It was the presentation of interesting point of view. It was the presentation of your point of view creates your reality. And it created so much change for the first class participants that they transcribed it, turned it into a book. And Gary was like, you guys need to do this 100 times, because the experience of going through it changes where you function from. The first thing that I think this workbook does is it teaches you what to watch out for. Remember how I talked about in the beginning how the basis of all of our money problems is basically the fact that we are absolutely undisciplined in what we're doing on the inside of us. I was watching this new Instagram profile, and they basically have assembled a bunch of conversations with influential thought leaders. And one of the guys was a practicing Shaolin person. And he said some things that were so simple and so profound that it made me look at what these access consciousness tools gift you. One of them was you have to strengthen and practice what it is you want your inner world to be like. And the truth is, we're not taught that. We just aren't taught that. Around money, basically, we're taught to go get a job and make your life. We're basically given zero financial education. And nobody tells us that part of your financial education is going to be forming your internal world so that you are constantly generating money. Nobody says that until you get to somewhere like Access Consciousness, where they're like, oh yeah, you want to have money? You have to be willing to be money. Well, how do I be money? Go through this class and you will have that experience for yourself. So that's point number 2, is it gives you a massive change during the workshop, and then it shows you how to create that change on your own during the week. Let me tell you my story. I didn't even know that I would wake up every single morning and my first thoughts about money were stress. I didn't even know that till I did the class. There's 13 questions we go through in the class. What is money to you? What does money feel like to you? What does money look like to you? What's the sense of it? What's your biggest money problem? What 3 things would be your financial solution from your point of view? And we start to clear all these out with the clearing tools of Access Consciousness. But it also starts to expose to you that you've got a whole lot of unconscious stuff going on when it comes to money. In one of the conversations that we go through in the workbook, he asks this person a question: what are your first thoughts in the morning about money? And it made me start to look at, for the first time, what are my first thoughts in the morning about money? And I'd never paid attention to that before. I really had literally just thought that my thoughts about money and my feelings about money were just the way it is. They were there because of my circumstances. and not the other way around. How many of you guys have trained yourself or been taught that your feelings and your thoughts are the result of a fact, rather than your feelings and your thoughts are choices you make and then the facts follow? Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. So that's actually how energy works. You choose what you be, you choose your thoughts, you choose your feelings, and then your life follows. So what most of us are doing with money is that we're super aware, we're picking up on things from 8 to 8,000 miles in every direction. We think those things are ours, and so we are buying those things out here that feel like they're in here as what reality is. Instead of going, wow, I'm super aware of so many things, what's my reality and what do I choose it to be? Can you see, even in that one sentence, like how much muscle building it might take to have that? Hence, go through the workbook 100 times, right? So it teaches you what to watch out for. It starts to gift you more consciousness about where your thoughts are going, where your feelings are going, what's actually true, what's really not true, what's the truth of you as a being, how are you creating yourself that's not the truth of you as a being, and how do you now go forward into your day, go forward into your moment, into your week, and in your day-to-day life, continue to create this new space. Because clearly up until now, you've been letting all your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions create the space, which is actually just your awareness of everybody else, but who's practicing. So it gives you a massive change during the workshop and then shows you how to create that on your own during the week. And then it gives you tools that work to change energies in the moment. I, in the last week and a half, have re-engaged in my life. Imagine that. And guess what's working now? My life. And you guys have seen my journey. I don't show up on here to pretend to be perfect. I show up on here so that you can see a real person in real time going after consciousness and living to the best of my ability. And so I have been, over these last 10 years, in and out of choosing consciousness, honestly. And about a week and a half ago, I chose again. Like, I've spent the 2 months before that in all my feelings, all my thoughts, really just in an experiment to go, what happens when I just allow myself to be where I am? When I just allow this and I'm just like, you know what? It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to have feelings. It is truthfully fine. It's okay. You're included. I'm included. What I didn't ask myself in that exploration, even though I'm so glad I chose it, was, okay, so it's okay. What is it creating? And I can tell you exactly what it created. It incapacitated me. It reduced my income to a fraction of what it's been. It destroyed my ability to contribute. So is it okay to not be okay? Of course. What's it creating? And when I got that awareness through, thankfully, a fucking epic conversation with a CF friend, I made a different choice immediately. And I was like, I'm not living here anymore. And here is like in the middle of all my feelings, in the middle of all my thinking, in the middle of maybe I'll quit. I'm not living here anymore. And so I got clear on my finances. I recorded an energy pull for myself. And that next morning I got up and I did that pull. And all day I consciously changed the energy. I redirected. I got disciplined with myself and my thoughts because I had let them get out of control. Right? Unruly thoughts. It was absolute internal havoc on the inside of me. All of those things that I was aware of were mine from my point of view. And so I was swept away. I, the being, was swept away by all of these thoughts and all of these feelings. So I got to work with these tools and I started changing energies in the moment. So what that equals is money. My income's already doubled in a week and a half. Now, when you are being money, you are being you. And being you doesn't happen to you. Maybe it should. Maybe we should live in a world that supports us and validates us and stands us up. But we don't live in that world. We live in a world that is doing everything that it possibly can to change our minds, control our processes, make us into slaves of the system. We live in that world. And we chose that. I chose a body at this time in this world right now. So I must know something about this. And I must have an ability with having my reality no matter what else is going on. Or I don't get that I would have chosen this. You chose this. You chose to come here now. We can quit, we can give up, or we can live. And this book is one of the best tools that I know to stimulate that in yourself. So you're invited. I'm doing a new workshop. It starts Saturday in real time. It's Thursday, so you got a day and a half to choose it. It's $79, and I would like more than anything to get to be a part of your transformation in where you function from with money. You're not going to wake up one day and money's going to be different. It doesn't happen that way. You can't clear yourself into becoming money. You can choose it and choose it and choose it and choose it and choose it. And this workbook makes it so much easier. Link is up in the description. All my guts are with you. What can we create? What's next? What's possible? Let's go.